Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Fireside Chat. It's only been a week, so it's been better. I've been better on this grind. I was like 6 months no Fireside Chat podcast, so I'm glad to be back. And back with Megan
Kruschke.
Yep, there it is. With from the Kirby and Christina team, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, welcome on. I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know being a full-time realtor is like a grind, and I don't think people get that.
No.
Like they don't. They're like, "Oh, you're a realtor? What, you work like 20 hours a week?" I'm like, "Yeah, like 90."
They just see the pretty stuff.
But. Exactly. Yeah, they don't see that behind-the-scenes stuff, which we kind of do a lot of, like showings and buyers blowing you off. Have you experienced that yet?
Yes.
Brutal.
You have a buyer consultation, you're all ready to meet, and then they just
ghost
don't
you.
show up, don't answer your call.
Oh, I remember I went to, I had a buyer consultation set up 3 weeks in a row at a Caribou and Forest Lake. And every time, like afterwards, I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm going to go to Running Aces, play blackjack. First time I won like $400. I was like, sweet, let's set it up again next week. She ghosted me, went to the casino, won like $200. I was like, oh, run it back one more time. That next week I did it. I went back and I lost like $400. I was like, ah.
But you never showed up.
No, she never showed up once. Turns out she's homeless.
Oh.
So her credit's like 410. So we're working on that right now, getting that up.
Well.
Trying to get it to like 600 maybe.
Yeah.
Trying to get her into a house, but it's a
but
tough
you're
situation.
still talking to her.
Yeah, no, she'll I follow up with her probably every third week or so. Mm-hmm. Just like, hey, how's life?
Yeah.
So just trying to stay top of mind, right? Back to that real estate stuff. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you, Megan.
Yes.
Origin story. How old are you? Like, let it all out. Brothers, siblings, like, who cares about real estate? Let's get to know Megan a little more.
Right. Okay, so I am from St. Mike, Albertville, grown and raised. My parents have actually never lived anywhere else, never moved, lived in the same house their whole life. I have 3 older siblings, 2 sisters, and a brother, and I'm the only one who does real estate sales, so I'm kind of out of the box for them, but...
Preach. Same here.
Yeah, and then
older brothers.
Graduated high school in 2020, and then I went to the University of Mary in Bismarck, North Dakota, played volleyball there for a year, and then worked full-time for 2 years, graduated in 3, and then here I am.
Wow, that's awesome. It's a lot.
Yeah.
What do your siblings do?
Both of my sisters are nurses. They actually work in the same unit in the same hospital.
Oh, wow.
And then my brother does HVAC.
Okay, nice. Mm-hmm. The trades, I bet he's doing well. Like,
yeah, he works a lot of overnights. And
oh, wow. Yeah. What about your parents?
My dad has fixed and sold water softeners his whole life. He's never had a different job, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
My mom works with insurance.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. So you got that insurance plug already. You don't even have to worry about it. Oh, you don't even use her? Whoa.
Well, I don't really. She works for like an insurance company, but I don't know what she does in it.
What company?
I've never Prudential.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I asked.
Yeah.
You could have said State Farm and I would have been like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I don't know what she does, but she's always on the phone.
Okay. Just like us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you go to school for? College?
Marketing.
You probably, do you use that in your everyday work now?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. How's that marketing background been beneficial for your real estate business so far?
Yeah. Well, actually, my first deal that I ever closed came from social media and the marketing that I do on there, which I think is cool.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's cool that you can, market yourself and, what you know, even though you have no experience. Like, I've never sold a house before and someone found me and there you go.
Just DM'd you and you're like, hey, I'm going to buy a house. That is, okay. For anyone
it was
that's
like the easiest thing ever.
Absurd.
And it was all cash. So it's just like.
Oh, so no lender.
Yeah.
Like just, we close in like 2 weeks. No big deal. Get me paid. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is cool. It's like me. I had one in 6 months was my first social media lead, which was like, I was like, wow, that's so quick. But no, you're just like first deal. No big deal. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I absolutely love your social media though. Like, I was talking with Tyler. He's like, oh, what do you got this week? I'm like, oh, I got a couple podcasts. I was showing him your Instagram page. I was like, dude, like she's killing the realist or like the social media game. And he's like, yeah, like that's incredible. Like you have so many. I love the one where you posted a couple weeks. I think I like reached out to you like right when I saw this post. You were talking about like being 21, being a younger real estate agent, and how it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. Like we have a 19-year-old on our team, Max. My mentee is 19, and like he's killing it. He's got like 3 offers accepted already, and
that's crazy.
He's not even 20. He's still a teenager.
Yeah.
Like
if I could have done that at 19, I would have.
Right?
If I would have known.
Exactly, right? And that's why like I always thought about like maybe I should go to like high schools and like a job fair at high school and be like, get into real estate, guys. Like screw college. Like so you went to University of Mary up in Bismarck, absolute middle of nowhere.
Yes.
How was that?
Yep. It was interesting. It was really cold, really windy.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. I wasn't there for too long, 3 years. So
yeah.
But I stayed there during the summers, and I was there for really 3 years, like no going home really that much. So yeah, but it was good.
Yeah. And so you said you played volleyball. Did you play volleyball your whole life? Like when did you start that?
Yeah. So I have 2 older sisters, so they also played, and so I kind of just grew up always going to their tournaments and their games. So yeah, I was just put in it. And
yeah. Did you play any other sports growing up?
No.
Just volleyball?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Volleyball is we used to always go to like the Winona volleyball team like games like
they were in our conference.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Did you ever go down to Winona?
I have been. Yeah.
That's like a long drive from like UMary. Like no, it was a lot of fun like going to those games. It's like intense. Yeah. Like it gets amped up in there. We always the whole football team would show up and watch, so like that helped, but not the like 8-man roster golf team helping out a whole lot. But we actually beat the volleyball team in a lip sync battle when I was there when I was a freshman before I dropped out. So suck on that, Winona State volleyball. Yeah. So get done with school. When did you graduate? Last spring?
Yes, in April.
In April. Okay, so then came back home. What happened then? Where was your head at?
Yeah, well, no, it was coming up on graduation, and I was working, like I said, full-time in the business office, and I knew that I didn't want a 9-to-5 job in the office. I didn't want to do that again, and so I was kind of just thinking, okay, what in the heck do I do now? And I remember I was watching Selling Sunset with my roommate, and she was like, we were just watching it or whatever, and I was like, I always thought it would be cool to be a real estate agent, but you have to be super rich. And she looked at me and she's like, what are you talking about? And then I was like, well, you have to like own all the houses. And I was like, she was like, what? And so then I realized I was stupid, and I did a bunch of research, and then like within a week I started my courses. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
So where did you do your courses? Like Kaplan or?
Yes, Kaplan. Yep.
Okay. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was fine.
Did you pass the tests on the first time?
No, I did not.
Either. How many times?
So I took, I don't know.
State and national.
Yeah, I took them separately. So it took me 3 times for both.
Yep, same for me. And then did you have to take like tests after like each course, like course 1, course 2, and course 3?
But those weren't proctored.
So mine were. Oh, I went to the CE shop. I failed 22 tests.
Really?
Yeah, it was brutal. And I like finally got licensed, and I was like, let's see if it actually matters. And I sold 15 in a year, so I don't know if the courses matter.
Yeah. No, but it is. I feel like it is almost like, I don't want to say it's too easy for people to get their license, but there's a lot of realtors, so I don't know.
There's a lot of bad ones too.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
Yes, I have.
Brutal.
Yeah. That's funny. I actually submitted an offer. It was in all cash, and I didn't attach the proof of funds, but it still got accepted.
That's crazy.
So that was like one of my first experiences being like, interesting, that probably should not have got accepted.
Yeah, they really just trusted you. I mean, I guess it's kind of on you and your buyer if you don't come up with funds, but still.
Yeah.
If you're a listing agent, you're dropping the ball there big time. Cash is nice. Mm-hmm. So you've had 2 offers. Yep. First one was cash from social media. What about your second one?
That one is also cash. Jeez. That one came from cold calls, though. So
really?
Yeah. Cold
calls. How did you, just off your team's like list or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy to get your first 2 offers all cash.
Yeah.
You haven't had to deal with an appraisal or anything like that yet.
No, my brother is next. So.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Where's he looking?
anywhere St. Michael. Well, not anywhere, but St. Michael, Albertville, around that area.
Africa. I mean,
yeah.
Albertville. So kind of close to home.
Yeah.
A little bit. Nice. Yeah. I don't know if I have it. I have Golden Valley coming soon. Like if you want somewhere in there.
I think it's a little far. From.
Unless he wants to build, I have a 25 acres in Oak River for sale right now. Anyone out there, if you guys are looking to buy.
It's funny. No, I took him to a home in Dayton maybe a couple weeks ago, and my mom wanted to come with. I was like, okay. And she just had too much to say. I'm never bringing you along again.
Get used to it. Get ready for when you have like an inspection and like the dad comes with the inspection. They just tear the house apart. And then your buyer's like, I want to cancel this.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Next time, bring your dad to the first showing so we don't have to waste everybody's time and waste you $400 on an inspection.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, no, that happens more often than not. I had one client, they're like, yeah, my dad wants to talk to you, make sure you're like educated on the market. And I'm like sweating. It's like my fifth deal ever. He's just grilling me question after question. I'm just answering it perfectly one after another. And he's at the end, he goes, you know what you're talking about, Brady? I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, where are you from again?
I'm from Elk River.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You said that. I feel like it would be tough almost being a realtor, not growing up in the city that you're selling houses.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like, when you're from here, you
just know everything.
Know more.
Yeah.
Right?
Like we're the number one team in Blaine, so we sell a lot in Blaine area. I live in Champlin now, so I sell a lot in Champlin area, in Blaine. But then I still do a lot in my hometown, Elk River. That's where my sphere is. But I've sold houses down in like Rosemount, like Maple Lake, North Branch, like wherever they come. Like I'm ready to go. Like let's go. I almost had a listing in Winona. And I was kind of not looking forward to it. Yeah, I was like, do I really want to drive 4 hours? But it was like a $750,000 house, like overlooking the bluffs and stuff. And it was absolutely beautiful. So I was like, it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
So watching selling sunrises or
selling sunset.
Yeah. That's how you got into the business and then you thought you would actually own the properties.
All the houses to sell them.
A lot of FSBOs out there, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then research, and then how'd you get in contact with Kirby and Christina? Because I think we say that?
No.
Okay,
no.
That's where you're at, right?
Yes, Kirby and Christina. Oh, maybe we did say that.
Maybe.
But no, one of my best friends from high school, her mom works at Kirby and Christina. She's an agent there. And so I kind of reached out to her and was just like, what is it like?
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. And then I guess the rest just happened. But I interviewed, or not interviewed, but when you're an agent, you kind of are.
Yeah, you're interviewing them, which I didn't know until like my 25th interview. I took like 30 interviews before I decided.
Yeah, I had a couple too, and I liked what Kirby and Christina had, so chose them. Really
well known in the area too, and just the whole market itself. There's not many people that don't know Kirby and Christina.
Right.
I feel like they've really done well to market themselves. Maybe you're helping with that now.
Yeah.
No, I wish I would have. No, I don't wish I would have got my marketing degree. I went for a year. That was enough. I barely made it through a year.
I agree with that. Everything that I learned about my marketing degree in college has nothing to do with like what I use or do now. It's all self-knowledge and everything.
Just like researching yourself. Yeah. So I found you on social media. You're killing social media. You're doing it seems like daily. Like, how have you used social media to, amp up your business and like obviously get yourself some leads from social media?
Yeah. So one of my big ones where I post most often, I say, is TikTok. Just because I feel weird. Like I don't want to annoy my Instagram followers too much with all these videos. So I just keep it on TikTok. But one of my best videos that I did was things people don't tell you about moving to Minnesota. And I've done 2 parts to that, but just that in general and putting the hashtags like moving to Minnesota. People look that up.
Yeah.
And so being able to have that show up, I've had like 2 people message me off that video say, hey, like I'm moving to Minnesota.
Can I help you? Yeah.
Right.
Can you help me?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then do you just like, when they DM you, do you go to them and be like, hey, like, set up like a Zoom call, like a buyer consultation over Zoom, or like?
It kind of depends what they're saying when they message. Most of the time, I would say it starts with a phone call, getting their number.
Yeah, getting them in like your CRM. What do you guys use?
For
CRM.
keeping track of.
Yeah. What like we use Chime here. Like Follow Up Boss is super common. Do you know what you guys use?
Thinkific, Keep. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that one. We use I use Chime every day, but that's a little different.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, CRMs are nice though to keep track of like what's going on,
where
like,
everyone is.
Yeah. I think like 260 leads in my Chime, and it's just like keeping track. Well, I mean, a lot of them are like family and friends, so that doesn't help. But
it does.
Still following up with those people and being like, hey, I'm in real estate, give me a lead.
Yeah.
You know? Have you tapped into your sphere a whole lot yet?
Yeah, so I have a pretty big family. So my mom has 6 siblings, and then my dad has a lot of siblings as well, and I have a lot of cousins, but a lot of them just aren't at that age yet. Yeah. And so it's kind of just, waiting for my sphere to, get a little older.
Yeah, yeah. How about, I don't know where I was going with that. I was going to say like college, but like they're probably in North Dakota. We're at a age, so we're both 21. I don't know if we touched on that. So we're both younger, and we were talking about before we got on air, how like our friends are just not ready. They're not ready right now. But like 4 or 5 years from now, like when they're ready, we're gonna be the people that they reach out to.
Right. And
most
sales common. On our back, and
we're gonna have to hire VAs to deal with that.
No, that's one of the other things too about being a young realtor is the clients that you're working with. You really are getting them to trust you and know you and like you because, they're not your sphere. You don't know who they are.
No.
You got to get them to trust you.
Yeah, no, like I kind of have like a little beard now, but like when I didn't, and I used to have like long like wings, like when I first started, like I looked like I came right out of a frat, like, and it was like I looked 17, 18, and now like shorter hair, like growing facial hair. Like I had a client, he's like, you gotta be like 25, 26. I'm like, I'm 21. He's like, dude, shut up. Like, no, you're not. Like, hey, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
But like, if you talk confident and you talk like with, you know what you're talking about, like you kill it, and like nobody even questions it. That's like, confidence, I was so worried when I first got in the business. I was like, I'm too young. No one's going to work with me. Now it's like, if I just tell them like, hey, here's what you should do. Here's why you should do it. Here's your options. Like, they don't care. They don't even ask. And so like they're at the closing table, and then they like start looking at you because there's like the 30 minutes where you're just sitting there with them, and they're like, how old are you? I'm like, 21. They're like, at my first couple deals, I was only 20, and they're like, can we even get a beer? I'm like, no, like we gotta wait till April. When I turned 21, I went on like so many happy hours with like different lenders, and like everyone's like, oh, we gotta get you a beer now that you're 21. I think I was drunk for a week straight. I was like, guys, I gotta work. Like,
that's funny. No, on my 21st birthday, I had a buyer consult who didn't show up. So
that's terrible.
Funny,
but my 21st, I went to a wild game. That week I had 3 closings too. The week of my 21st. Birthday. Yeah. So it's just like, yep, closing, and then we'd go get drinks, and I'm like, shit. Like, but yeah, no, a wild game. I do like, I do Monday market updates like every Monday. I've been doing them for like over a year now. And my birthday was on a Monday, and I was at the wild game just down in beers, and I was like, my mentor was there with me. I was like, yep, Blake's going to do the Monday market update. I'm just sitting there chugging a beer in the back the whole time. But yeah, do you do a lot of... I do a lot of different social media segments. I do every Monday I do a Monday market update, and then every Sunday I do a soup review. I review different soups. Right. Yeah, which is just super odd, but just, hey, I was called Soup Boy in Vegas because I had soup, so I was like, I'm just gonna embrace this and go with it.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, like, I plan most of the time like what videos I want to make, but I don't have like on Tuesdays I'm gonna post this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I try to keep half of it personal. I mean, it's really hard when you are in real estate and
this is all you do.
But I want to keep most of my, not most, but half of it personal, just to keep the people who are following me engaged still, and not lose them. But
no, that was my toughest thing. I think when I first started getting like posting almost daily, like look at my numbers, I'd be like, shit, I lost 50 followers. Like,
people don't want to see this stuff. Yeah.
But it's like,
but then there's people who do want to see it.
Exactly. So, well, and then they're like, those people that leave, they're like, okay, they're probably never going to work with me, one, if they don't care about seeing me every day or seeing me all the time.
Or with our age, they're just too young. They just, they don't get it yet.
No, they don't. And I think social media for like younger people is just been like a way, like a highlight reel almost, right?
Right.
Where now it's like people are starting to use it for like their businesses, like we are. And I think it's like opening people our ages like eyes, like, oh, so social media isn't just about like, oh, I was in Vegas for the week, or like it's more about like connecting people to like what they're doing for their businesses, how we can help each other. And I think if more people can understand that, it's going to be way better.
I also feel like social media has taken a shift, like with TikTok and Instagram, kind of as a search engine. Like I find myself when I look up something, I go to TikTok before I go to Google.
Yeah,
and
that's so
crazy.
Funny. We were just talking about that on my team. So we have a thing, like if you have a question, the first thing you do is you Google that shit.
Right.
Just like don't bother somebody, just Google it, see if you can figure it out. And Max, he's the teenager, 19. He goes, I'm gonna TikTok that shit.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even Google it anymore. He's like, because I have a bunch of like different business credit cards and like business accounts and stuff, and he goes, what kind of credit card do you have? I'm like, Sky Miles. He's like, oh, I'm gonna TikTok. Like, what's the best credit card? And I was like, what, dude? You're like 12. What's going on right now? Who uses TikTok to Google stuff?
Yeah, no, I've been finding myself doing that lately.
Yeah,
but it's weird. It's
TikTok's
helpful.
like crazy. Yeah, it's such a weird. It's a weird world we live in. Like, like Vine. Do you remember Vine?
Yeah.
Like Vine was like, I loved Vine back in the day. It was like 6-second videos, but now TikTok's just like this whole new thing. Like it's crazy. The world's evolving so quick. It feels like, but like we also don't have flying cars. So like, what's that about?
Yeah. No, it's crazy the opportunity that can come from TikTok. I mean, you see a bunch of creators or influencers who make a living off of TikTok,
YouTube, and like all this stuff. I mean, you think of like a Logan Paul, like literally he's just always been an influencer, and that's crazy. I just had an influencer on the Pod Gods. He's a gym influencer, but his like girlfriend's got like 75,000 followers from just doing gym stuff. Do you know who like Lauren Wagner is?
No.
I graduated high school with her. She's a gym influencer. She's got like 300,000 followers.
That's crazy.
Like, jeez, like
she probably gets a lot of brand deals.
She does, like Alpha Elite, like all that stuff, and I'm just like, you go. Yeah. And like those are the other people that are using their social medias for their business, which is really cool to see. Like we're not the only ones. I feel like it's the influencers and the real estate agents right now. Like when are the financial advisors going to jump on this trend? Like all these other people, insurance agents, like when's that going to come into play? I think people are starting to understand that. I know a couple financial advisors that are starting to use that. But before they used to just do like BNI groups, like business networking groups, and like that's how they would get more business. And now we can just use social media. It's free, first of all.
Yeah, it's like the number one.
Second
free
of all,
marketing
it's free.
Tool. Yeah.
Like, just do it.
No, and I think with like our age being young too, we have that side of social media that maybe older people don't quite get.
100%.
Like,
do you use Facebook at all?
I do, but not nearly as often.
Yeah, I use.
It's like only a couple posts, honestly, probably a month.
Yeah, I use Facebook. I like when I post, it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Like those are my three ones I use. Facebook just connects me to like all my family and like the older people in my life. Where Instagram's like my friends, and TikTok is like how you find new business almost, right? Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But it's working. Like, is that where your first social media lead came from? Was
TikTok?
TikTok?
Yeah, I remember. She DM'd me, and then we were on a call, and she was like, "Yeah, do you know how I found you?" I was like, "No." She was like, "Yeah, I got you off TikTok." I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome."
That is a crazy story. Like, that's something you'll be telling people in like 5 years from now. They're gonna be like, "Bullshit." No way. That is awesome. Gosh, I just am so blown away by that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So obviously you're big into social media. What else are you doing to find leads? Like open houses, cold calling?
Yeah.
Like where's your lead sources coming from?
So I would say I split it pretty half and half between social media and then cold calls or warm calls when they come from people clicking on websites. Open houses, I haven't tapped into that yet, just for, I don't know, I feel like from what I've heard, sometimes it's not the best, and if you have different ways of generating leads, then do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I've probably 20% of my business comes from open houses.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a it depends on probably how you host them and
100%.
what you're saying to the people. So
yeah. Well, I think the biggest problem agents do is they go to open house and they post it on social media, great, but then people come through and they kind of just like, hey,
Right.
walk through the house. Let me know if you have questions, or where I'm like asking them questions, kind of
Right.
walking with them and like
digging deeper,
getting their information, like having them sign in. Like, hey, you know, the sellers are requesting people to sign in when they come. Can you just, you know, sign in quick just for the sellers? And obviously it's for us, but
yeah,
I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
And then giveaways is another thing I do a lot. Like I gave away wild tickets last year to a group of people, or 4 tickets. Then I bought 2 more and went to the wild game. And then like we all hung out together, and like those are just like people that always are liking my Instagram stuff, like are just like my number 1 fans. I almost think of it, but like I wouldn't have had that connection if I didn't do the giveaway and if I didn't do open houses. And like they've referred me business. Like that's kind of the point of it, in my opinion, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like everyone has their different ways of what they excel at, so utilize it.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm not a good cold caller. Like I just know that's my weakness, and that's fine. But open houses, face-to-face podcasts, like social media, that's what I'm good at. So that's what I'm going to like focus 100% of my time on.
Yeah. The cold call is a struggle too, just because a lot of people don't answer their phone.
Or they tell you to F off.
Yeah. So you get lucky when someone answers the phone and they actually like want to have a conversation, but
yeah. Do you guys have a lot of scripts, I would assume, that you guys follow? Or
yeah, I mean, when we start, they set us up with a bunch of scripts to follow, but I feel like when you're cold calling, it's kind of just have a conversation. Like, feel it out. What are they saying?
Yeah.
You know, can't really read from a script all the time.
No, you can't. No, that's Daniel Beer, like one of the top agents in San Diego, talked about that a lot to me, and like in Vegas, just that like scripts are great, but like you sound like a robot.
Yeah.
Just like be personable. Talk to somebody because you want to have a conversation with them. And I think that was like a good point. Like just talk. Like
yeah. I remember like
they're gonna use you if they want to.
The first cold calls I made, I had like the sheet of paper with the script, and I was just like flipping through it. I was like, this is stupid.
You just figure it out on the go. You gotta shoot from the hip sometimes, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So cold calls, warm calls, social media, those are kind of your pillars, is what I kind of call my pillars, is open houses, social media, and then referral based business. Have you been doing a lot of like meetings with different lenders, or do you guys have preferred lenders that you must work with? Or?
We have a handful of preferred lenders. When it comes to our Saphir, we can kind of
use whoever,
whoever we want. So I've met with a couple lenders, but I don't know. It's interesting sometimes when you meet with lenders.
It is. Yeah. It really is. You know, I've got, I want to say like 15% of my business has come from like lenders, like referrals, which is great. Like creating really good relationships with them and doing like co-marketing, branding, or open houses together. Open houses are like, can be scary by yourself. Like you have no clue who's going to walk through that door. Like
they know where you are.
Yeah. Right. You just put it on social media and they can literally find you anywhere. So that's scary.
That's another reason. Like, I wouldn't. I never tapped into it, but
unless you can do it with lenders, like, you know, you get a really good lender that you like and do open houses together. It can be fun too, and you could do a lot of social media creation out of it. That's what I've really tried to do. I'm doing 25 open houses in like 30 days right now. Wow. So I did 6
open house a day.
I did 6 last week. I'm doing 7 this week, like, and most of them are on the weekends. But like, I had 2 people come through. It's just like, out of 6 open houses, 2 people. I'm like, wow, this is like, I just wasted 12 hours for 2 people to come through that both had agents. Yeah. But now, like, this week I could have 4 new buy-sell leads, and now there's 8 deals just from open houses. So it's just like, you got to stay consistent. I think that's
whatever you're doing.
That's the biggest thing. Some of the top agents, like, and coaches, if you know who John Cheplak is, he's a real estate coach. Dude's a madman. Oh my gosh, he spoke at in Vegas at the conference I was at, and was just like, you got to follow up with your leads 27 times before they'll even contact you back, like just going crazy. I was like, dude, it's all right. Yeah. The next guy came up, he's like, yeah, dude, I've never followed up with anybody or made a cold call, but I did 60 million in volume of YouTube leads last year.
That's what he did?
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, Jesus. He's in Hawaii, so it's a little different market, but he's just like, it's free. I don't like cold calling, but I'll do these YouTube videos all the time. Right. And I'll get leads from it. And my biggest takeaway was that, like, no matter what you decide to do, like, whatever your pillars are going to be, if you go 100% in on that, like, you're going to succeed.
Right.
I think a lot of newer Asians, especially, like, spread themselves too thin. Like, I got to do cold calling, I got to do expireds, physicals, like, I got to do everything. Where if you focus on, like, one thing or maybe two things and just really focus heavy on that, you'll be extremely successful.
Yeah. I know people who've, like, tapped into door knocking, too, and have done good with that. And yeah. Whatever you put your mind to, you can get leads from. But.
It's crazy, yeah. And then there's, like, some people that just, like, do crazy with, like, billboards. I mean,
right.
Not to name anybody. Yeah. What a weird guy. Have you met him yet?
No.
He's a weird fellow.
I've never met him.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just like the biggest thing I think in the business is staying consistent.
Right.
And like my biggest thing when I, like last spring when I had 4 offers accepted in 10 days, I was like, I stopped all my follow-up. I stopped all that because I was so busy. Like I gotta deal with everything. And it's just like figuring out a way to like stay consistent with everything no matter what is key. And I think the biggest thing is like time blocking. Like you have to follow your time blocking schedule.
No one's telling you where you have to be when you have to be there. So
it's so hard though. Like if like my time blocking, like try to get an hour of like prospecting a day on social media or whatever it might be. It's so hard because if someone texts me, is like, hey, I want to see a house at 10 a.m. I'm not going to be like, I can't. I'm going to be like, yeah, let's do it. And it's like teaching yourself to be like, okay, I'm available from 1 to 3 on Wednesday. That works great. If not, somebody on my team can show the house for me, or we can go up, when I'm available on a different day. And like learning that has been hard because like at first I was like, I need the money. Like I don't want to pay somebody $50 to go show a house for me. But now it's like, it's worth it because my number one job is to find the next client.
Right.
So if I'm sacrificing that time to go show houses, I'm not doing my job, right? You gotta, or I have to move that prospecting time to a different time in that day. You have to do it, an hour of power is what we call it every day, like an hour of prospecting, getting in, following up, like staying top of mind on like your sphere and everybody that you're working with, because if you don't
want them to forget about you.
Yeah, and then they're
they
in
buy
a
house.
Yeah, and you're like, it's terrible. It like hits you with a knife and just twists and just like, oh God, I should have followed up more. But that was my biggest thing that it took me forever to like understand. It was like, I'll figure it out later. Like I just want to go show this house and like help them buy a house. Like that's all I cared about.
I even find myself too with the follow up. Sometimes I'm like, I'll just send them a text, but it's like really important that you call them.
Yeah, well, and
if
like
they don't answer, then. But
I do a lot of texting, believe it or not. I don't do too much calling. Like I said, I'm not the biggest cold call guy, but like I'll cold text anybody. I don't care. And just like simple as like, yo, give me a call. Like, and then they're like, who are you? And it's like, oh, let's have a conversation now. Like,
I found that too when I started. When people wouldn't answer my calls, I would text them and I'd be like, hi, this is Megan with Remax. But I found that if I just kept it hi and their name, then they'll respond.
Yeah, like if you bring up like real estate, like
they're done.
Or like I used to cold call a bunch and I'd just leave voicemail like, yo, it's Brady, give me a call back. And they call me like, who? I'm a realtor, and they just hang up. I'm like, hey, I got them to call me, I guess.
That's funny.
But there's so many different ways to cold call, and it's just like we said, is staying consistent with whatever you choose is huge. We say in our team, like it's motion, not magic. Like there's no magic formula that's gonna make you a top producer. Like it's just staying consistent with your time blocking schedule and staying committed to it, and it's so hard.
Right. I remember when I first started, I was like, there just has to be a better way. There has to be. Like you're like, how? This doesn't make sense. But no, it is. It is just doing what everyone else has done. You know?
Since like forever.
Yeah.
Too. Like there's
been no change
except social media. I guess you could throw that in there, but at the end of the day, it's still like staying top of mind with people. Whether it was a newspaper ad, same thing as social media. Just you had to pay for it. Now it's free.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's cool. And I honestly love being young in the industry. Like I use it to my advantage almost now. It's like I talk to new clients and I'm like, yeah, I'm 21, but like I don't have a family. I don't have anything to worry about. You want to go see a house at 8 p.m. on a Friday? Let's do
go.
it.
Yeah.
Like, It don't matter to
Yeah.
me. So
No kids.
Yeah, right. That's huge. Like the amount of agents that have kids that are just
Yeah.
like jealous of us. Almost. Like, yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Or how many people have you had come up to you and be like, God, I wish I would have started at 20 or 21. It's like, you should have. I don't know what you want from me.
It's like I wish I would have started at 18.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like my buddy that's 19, my mentee that's 19. I'm like, damn, I wish I would have started when I was you. Like, I was old for my grade, so I graduated when I was 19. But still, if I would have just now went to college, I think a lot of people would have been a lot more disappointed in me if I did that though. Like basically a full ride for golf, and I was like, gave up that after a year. At least I tried, I guess. Not gave it up right away, but yeah. What else? Give me something.
Something.
Yeah. What's the end of your week look like this week? Showings, anything like that? Are you prospecting? Different meetings?
I am actually going to Fargo this weekend to hang out with some friends. So.
NDSU?
Yes.
Awesome. My brother went to NDSU. I went up there a couple times.
Yep.
It's a good time.
Yeah. Should be.
Boring drive though. You got that like one car on 94 that's like up like on its front of it.
Yeah.
Like that's about it. That's in Alexandria, but
straight for 3 hours.
Yeah, but. Literally. Yeah, no, Fargo's a good time. I've been my aunt lives there actually. My uncle's a U.S. Marshal in Fargo, so he deals with like a lot of stuff up there. But
wonder what the market's like there.
Cold. I don't know. It's slow, just like everywhere else right now. Yeah, interest rates. What are you doing to combat interest rates right now?
I think a rate buy down is huge. I don't think a lot of people understand
how it actually works. Yeah. What's like the 2-1 or like a 3-2-1 or like a 1-0? Like there's so many different options. Yeah. I think people don't even know about it.
They have.
Yeah, you bring it up. I brought it up in my buyer consultation today. They're like, "What's that?"
And it sounds more complicated than it really is.
Yeah, it's really not.
Yeah.
I feel like I've explained it so much; it's just like engraved in my brain at this point. We do script battles here at the Tyler Miller team, like every month. And what it is, like, there's an objection. You like basically role play with Tyler in front of like the whole team, and then the person you're battling against goes outside. You talk about it. You kind of role play with Tyler on it. Then you're done. Then the other guy comes in and does the same thing, and people vote on who did better. Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
It is, and it's like I think everybody on the team is so sick of hearing people explain 2-1 buy down rates or like a buy down rate where we're just like buy down rate. Do we need to explain it? Like everyone's like, no, please, no.
Yeah.
But no, those are actually a lot of fun. Like those are my most like educational trainings I go on, like by far.
Yeah.
Like it's just. Because afterwards, everyone sits down and we kind of just like chat about like, what would you have done differently? What would you have said? Like, how do we combat these objections? Whether it's, interest rates are too high right now or, some other like my lease doesn't end for 6 months from now. Like, how do you combat that? How do you still get them to be a buyer or get them into a buyer consultation or something like that? So
the interest rate thing is crazy. I think I saw a statistic the other day. I forget if it was like in the past 20 or 30 years. The average interest rate through the past 30 years has been like 7.5%.
It's crazy.
And so people think it's high right now, which, I mean, it's obviously higher than it was 2-3 years ago, but
but we'll
it
never
could
see
be a
that
lot
again.
worse.
Yeah. Well, it's like historically rates are like average right now.
Yeah.
Like I talked to my grandparents. They're like, yeah, our first house we got for $20,000 at an 18% interest rate. And I'm like, what? 18%?
That's crazy.
They're like, yeah, we sold it for $200,000 though. I'm like, okay, well, you just made $160K. I guess that's fine.
Yeah. No, I'm always like trying to tell my friends in college, even though they can't afford a house yet. I'm like, just buy something. Come on, like
especially right now, like with rates so high, like we have the buyers actually have power for once.
Yeah.
And like you can get a better deal. You can get seller paid closing costs. You can, get an inspection, get home warranties paid for by the sellers. Where if you can get into a house now, like I just explained this to one of my buyers, like if we can get into a house now, it's probably not your forever home. It's $190K or whatever. But if we can, buy it now with your favorable terms, lower price, your monthly payment's a little higher because interest rates are high. But then if we wait 2 years, like they're predicting 8 to 10% appreciation just next year. Because once rates drop, there's going to be more buyers.
Right.
Multiple offers, prices are going to go up. That's just what happens. if we can wait 2 years and you sell for like, you bought at 200, sell for 275, like after everything you're making like 60, 70K.
Right. Yeah.
Now you have that for a down payment on your next house or pay off debts. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy.
My parents, they live on 5.5 acres of land, and they bought it like 30 years ago for like $40,000.
That's crazy.
Like,
did they build on it too? And
yeah.
Yeah. That's so nice. 5.5 acres.
And it's like, buy land. Like, they're not making any more of it. They really are.
No, you can't.
No matter what gets invented.
Except Dubai.
AI.
Like, they just keep throwing up like random ass islands out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like buy properties. And like obviously house hacking is so popular. It's all over TikTok. Everyone's like, oh, I want a house hack. And it's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, you probably are going to have to live in Minneapolis, but
like,
if you want a house hack, we can do it. That's like, I'm going to buy something next year. I would love to buy a duplex in Champlin, but I'm like, if I can't, like a 4-bedroom, like split level in Champlin, live there for a couple years, buy something else, rent it out. Like, now I start my rental portfolio at 23, 24 years old. Like, not many people are doing that.
I know one of my friends in college, she goes to the U. She lives in a 7-bedroom house with 6 other roommates, and they all pay $680 a month in rent. I'm like, wow.
If you own that,
he's
like,
a genius. Like, whoever owns that.
Yeah, but then you got to find good renters, and like, there's so many like landlords. Like, one of my guys on my team, Corey Brenner, has like 6 rental properties, and he's like, yeah, dude, I've been to court like 50 times. Just like yikes. He's like, yeah, you got to find a good renter. So I like the luxury rental right now is kind of going off. Like, there's new construction rental communities going up all over. I've seen that. And it's really weird.
There's one in St. Michael. They built a community of houses just for
rentals.
Rent.
And they're like nice modern homes, like single family homes that like those builders are raking in the cash right now. Like, if no one's gonna buy them, we'll just rent them out. And we'll sell them when we're ready to and make even more money. So it's genius by the builders, but just kind of absurd to me. I was talking with a lender this morning about those rental communities. There's one going in like Minnetonka, and it's like paying like $5,000 a month. Like, it's
crazy.
Yeah.
Just
buy. Don't pay somebody else's mortgage. And like, there's certain situations where it might be smart. Like, maybe you're moving out of state in 2 years, and like maybe it's smarter to rent then. But
or you're in college, I guess.
Great point. Maybe you can't buy. Right? Maybe your credit is 320. Like, you can't buy then, but that's okay. Have you done any rent to own? Like, have you looked into any of that stuff yet?
Where they start renting and then buy?
Yeah.
I haven't, but I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, there's a couple. There was one, oh God, I have no clue what the name is. I don't know, but there's one called Divvy where they'll buy the house in cash.
Right.
And then you rent it from them, and they make you pay more rent than the actual mortgage, and then that extra pay gets set aside for a down payment for you, which is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Which might be something that's like common now, but like last fall when I was looking at it, like the offers that they were writing, like the cash offers that these companies would write were like $50K under, and I'm like, well, that's not gonna happen. Like, so God, I forgot what company that was. Divvy is one of them, but there's another one that Herman Antov did a lot, and he's at eXp Realty. It's part of my business partners and stuff, and he killed it. He did like 60 homes just for the rent to own. Like,
it's crazy.
Literally made his whole next 5 years just off those. Just crazy. But is there anything else you want to add? We'll kind of wrap it up. I don't even know what time it is.
No, not that I know of.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your busy schedule, and kind of hopping on and talking about the real estate and being young at 21. But it's exciting to see you kind of grow in the social media. So I'll continue to follow. And where can people find you?
Instagram, TikTok, Megan Kruschke.
Kruschke. Never going to remember it. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone, thanks for coming on today. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching till the end, and like and subscribe, obviously. Come on. But that's it. That's another Fireside Chat. So thank you for coming on, and we'll see everybody later.